Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neurodiverse Wrestling Obsessed. I'm your host, John Arroyo, and boy, was TNA Final Resolution crazy. So I'm going to just do a recap of what happened. A lot of crazy things happened. We're going into the AMC era of TNA, so a lot of crazy things are happening, so let's get right into it. So we start these off with Charlie Dempsey versus Mike Santana. Mike Santana was coming in hot, straight out the gate, just straight up brawling. Charlie tried to hold him down with submissions, but Mike Santana pretty much beat him with a rolling buck 50 for the win, saying that it's not over. He is still coming after the NXT guys. We have to see how that all plays out. Then we got the women's knockouts tag team titles against the IInspiration versus Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard in a really good match. Jesse and Cassie started fast with tag moves, but then halfway through, Stone trips Jesse, letting pretty much Tessa and Victoria take over most of the match, but then Cassie was able to tag in, clean house, hit the Inspirationer for the win. But then after, the Elegance brand walks in and then walks out, making their mark and claim clear that they are next for the women's knockouts tag team titles. So we have to see how that all goes. Then backstage, Santino Marella is talking to Ariana Grace's daughter, and he pretty much says it's weird that NXT keeps coming in the last 2 weeks. He's trying to figure out who is letting them in the doors, because the doors are usually locked, saying that security. And Ariana Grace says it's nothing to do with her, even though she's engaged to Stacks from NXT. That's her business, and that's pretty much gonna lead into something near the end of the show as well. But we have to wait to see. Pretty much the NXT and TNA war is still continuing. Then we got the craziest street fights. We have Matt Cardona versus Mance Warner in an absolute best match. Steph DeLander came out dressed like Wendy Lou Who. Mance Warner looked like a zombie. Matt Cardona was just going straight in with weapons, beating the hell out of Warner with a kendo stick, even a steel chair. DeLander comes in, smacking Cardona with a trash can on the outside, helping Mance. Mance go wild with every weapon like a kid at a playground or a toy store, and using any type of thing he could find as a tool or weapon. It was crazy. Then out of nowhere, Matt Cardona drops a whole bunch of his own action figures like it's Toys R Us, hitting an AA on Warner. That does not work. Both men bring in holiday themed doors. Both of them go through the door, but at the end, Matt Cardona was able to hit a radio silence through a door for the win. Really good, really chaotic, and I really liked every second of it. Hopefully this is something they bring more to the the AMC era, more chaotic matches like this. Then we had the TNA Intercontinental match. This is the match I said to look out for, and it really was. So we had Steve Maclin versus Channing Lorenzo. And Maclin dominated early, threatening Channing like he was a piece of garbage, just throwing him around, beating him up. Lexus Ting was doing some trash talk to Steve, distracting Stacks, letting him get the upper hand, but Stacks shuts that down with a killer backbreaker. Like Steve Maclin hits a killer backbreaker. On the outside, just both men go crazy. He even takes out Lexus King as well, but back in the ring, Stacks hits Steve with the stick after Lexus King one more time interferes, letting Channing Lorenzo be the newest TNA Intercontinental Champion and the third person from NXT to hold a TNA title. This is really interesting. It's a big one for him, and where did this go? Because he is dating Ariana Grace, and also Santino Marella is the head of TNA. So we have to see how this storyline unfolds. Then we had the Knockouts World Championship match with Lei Ying Lee versus Xia Brookside. For me, one of the best matches of the night. These women put on a show. It was fast, smooth, emotional. Both women absolutely shine. But at the end, Lei Ying Lee was able to retain the title, like what I predicted. But I didn't predict this. At the end, Dani Luna attacks. Then Indi Hartwell fights her as well. So it's a giant brawl. We don't know who's next. I guess maybe Lei Ying Lee, Dani Luna, and Indi Hartwell in a triple threat. We have to wait to see. But the women's division lately has been on fire. Then we got a crazy 8-man tag team match. We had the Rascals versus Order 4. Just pure chaos. Reed was flying everywhere. He hit a twisting cutter, landing on everyone. Trey and Desmond was throwing hands back and forth with the Great Hand. At the end, Elias shows up, tying Ali, dragging him away like in a Western movie, allowing the Rascals to pick up the win. Pretty crazy. And what the hell happened to Ali? This is getting ridiculous, but it was also fun at the same time. Then we got the X Division Championship match with Leon Slater versus AJ Francis. AJ Francis pretty much dominated most of the match, even interfering with the referee, getting physical with the referee. But then Karma hits him hard because BDE came back for payback, attacking him, as well as Rick Strom backstage, like backstabbing him earlier, letting Leon Slater pick up the win. So first he had his rival sneak attack him, then his so-called tag team partner backstab him. So this is getting really spicy. Will AJ Francis come back with revenge? We have to wait to see, but really interesting. And then we have the World Tag Team titles against High Rise against the Hardys. Pretty solid match, nothing too crazy. The Hardys retained. It was a pretty like smooth, decent match. But the big thing is the Righteous arrive, and boy, you see the Righteous on the Indies. They're kind of like the new upcoming tag team. It was speculated that they was going to go to WWE, but they're here in TNA, and they already kind of made their mark on the Hardys for those tag titles. And those two groups against each other is going to be good, because if you see the Righteous, they're a really good tag team, so I cannot wait to see the interactions they have with the Hardys after this first ever interaction. Then we have payback time. So Ryan Memev comes out complaining that he's not on the show. Then Maya Sheree from a couple weeks ago, like at least almost a whole year, Ryan Memev has been super kicking her in the face. It's been this whole storyline. So Maya Sheree before the end of the year says, hey, happy holidays, kicks the hell out of him for payback. I don't know if the storyline is continuing, but it was a pretty funny in between before the main event. Then we had the main event match, Frankie Kazarian versus JDC. And JDC came out like no tomorrow. He was showing a new side of him, a darker side, more aggressive, ruthless, but Kazarian took him to the outside, beat him on the stage ramp. It was getting pretty gruesome and aggressive, but at the end, chaos. The referee gets knocked out, and Frankie Kazarian cheats, choking out JDC for the win. And then after, the NXT locker room attacks again. The TNA locker room attacks with Mike Santana joining as well. Santino Marella try to break it up, and then Stacks accidentally hits Santino, and the brawl still continues. What a way to end the show, and how the hell is TNA gonna figure this out? Because next week I think TNA and NXT is going to be crazy, because also Deadline is this week. So why? I feel like maybe some TNA guys are going to show up at Deadline, but pretty much everything is crazy. TNA Revolution, Final Revolution was a good way to start the TNA AMC era. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for TNA to be on primetime television, because they was on Access TV, but now on AMC. I feel like you're going to get more eyes on the product. Not just that, but it shocked the internet. A lot of people was interested. And for someone like me who been watching TNA for a bit, having it on a bigger TV streaming or TV show is good, and it brings more audience in. And I cannot wait to see more of the storyline. This was pretty much the last pay-per-view of the year for them, so I cannot wait to see how this all unfolds on January the 6th. Because that is the debut on AMC, so I cannot wait. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.